Without further ado, here in the top right-hand corner of the map, playing as the red Terran pieces from KaiZ Gaming. Give it up. It is innovation. And in the bottom left, in the blue, it's the Protoss player known as ZEST. All right. So another TVP for us today. Innovation going to be opening up in the barracks. Now, Innovation has been known to be more of a standard player altogether. And ZEST definitely known as a man, I was going to say he was known as a very defensive player, but ZEST can definitely throw in some really crazy builds. Innovation lately has been throwing in more cheeses and more kind of like proxy stuff, trying to expand his play, but we'll see. We'll see here. ZEST is going into just a gateway expand, nothing too crazy. Finally, we'll send a probe across the map to kind of get some scouting. It is a little late though. Normally we see the probe going across a little bit quicker. But no, he's just going to be looking for proxies. Huh. Or maybe throw down a proxy of his own? We'll see what he does there. Marine is going to be coming out, again, looking for proxies itself. And we do have that reactor, so we should be seeing potentially a factory follow-up, maybe going into more Hellions. It should be good. ZEST is going to throw down a pylon up at the top, protect against drops, or at least know if one is coming, give him a little bit more time to respawn. And the Marine just going to be going around wherever he wants. The second barracks is going to be coming down, though. Interesting. It's going to be Twilight Council follow-up for ZEST, so. Yeah, there we go. And a third barracks. Wow, so opening up 3 racks is innovation behind it. Going to get an eBay. Is he going to go for like a +1 Marine timing here? Goes down to the tech lab. Do we see a second tech lab though? Or does he go into like maybe another refinery or something? We'll see. Second gateway on the way is ZEST is going to be going into Blink. And Stim on the way. We do have +1 on the way. Stalker is looking to put some more pressure onto the main, or the natural here of Innovation. Oh my goodness. And the Marines will go ahead and push it back. He is going to go into a second tech lab though, so we'll get the combat shields upgrade potentially. He could go into concussive shells and maybe do something with like a Marine or a Marauder or two, but since he hasn't made any Marauders yet, I don't think that's going to be the case, and it is going to be that combat shield, so. Robotics facility on the way, additional gateways, going into kind of a 4-gate robo. Very nice, I like this from ZEST. He's going to get a very nice stalker count. He does have the War Prism coming through as well, to kind of help with some warp-ins when he goes across and eventually attacks. Looks like he is wanting to get a third base pretty quickly as well. So even behind this, I'll still be able to have an economic advantage. So, very nice. Looks like ZEST is going to make his way across the map. Innovation just sitting across a single SCV, maybe the scout. See, is there a third base taken? Does not see it yet. We'll see the pylon though. He's going to make his way across the map, but here comes a horde of stalkers. Oh no. He's going to allow this to go through. And ZEST blinking into the main base. Innovation going to go across the map. Try to do some damage himself. The factory not going to finish up. And ZEST just going to continue on the pressure. All there is SCVs here to defend. At the same time, the Marines for Innovation are going to go across the map. Now, he does have blink, so he can potentially blink in here, but he doesn't have any medevacs with this army, as the factory has not finished. 19-20 probes have gone down. It looks like the Nexus will fall for ZEST, but this army is just so deadly across the map. ZEST going to kill off almost all of the SCVs here, and Innovation going to start pushing across the map with his production. Does shut down all of the production units here of ZEST, though. And we'll get the Nexus, so we'll force ZEST in kind of a weird situation. Oh, and there we go. ZEST's probes going to start falling now. He still has 23 available. We actually see all of the probes moving across the map. Innovation will see this, and he's going to start trying to just spread everything around. Innovation really starting to crumble. Now, he is going to make a bunker across the map, looking to make a CC. So that'll be good. As both players literally have started making production on the other side of the map of where they started. There's just buildings, units everywhere. Bunker will finish up, so he will be able to throw in a couple of Marines if he wants to in there. Maybe a couple of Marauders. Oh, does he get +1 armor, though? No, it doesn't look like it's going to complete in time. The probes are on a Piranha Frenzy. And the tickle beams of the Sentry, though, will eventually... Oh, no, he is going to finish it. Wow. The Zealots, they can't even get to attack it. Oh, man. Alright, so we do actually see the Marines and the Marauders still trying to clear up all of the buildings here for ZEST. Just trying to get whatever he can eliminated. And ZEST does still have that Warp Prism. He still has the Stalkers. And what? Can he warp anything in at this moment? No, he doesn't have any gateways. So the army here for ZEST is all he has. While Innovation does still have, you know, he still has these barracks. But ZEST will go ahead and start trying to damage them as much as possible with the Stalkers. Still keeping the force here for ZEST in the front. Kind of keeping Innovation on a defensive. Now, even though ZEST does have the army advantage right now, Innovation has more of his forces together. He will lose the bunkers, so we'll have to be forced to kind of remake that. We do see ZEST retaking a single gateway. He's got gas coming through. A lot of his probes still just kind of sitting around at this point. And, oh, he's going to lose a couple there as well. Beautiful. Stalkers are going to be so crucial here for ZEST. Now, ZEST does have 25 probes to the 8 here of Innovation. Innovation is completely supply blocked. He cannot make any more probes. All he can do is make a couple of depots. That's all he can do. He does have +1 though, so that will help him out quite a bit. There is going to be another base taken here though for ZEST, so really starting to kind of push that lead. Here we go once again. ZEST coming into the main base of Innovation, the new main base. If you were just to be joining and looking, you're like, oh man, what happened here to Innovation? Well, this is not where they initially had started. They were actually on opposite sides, and it's just insane they're still holding on to this. Now, there is an observer available here for ZEST, so you can kind of see around as much as possible. And I don't know, ZEST is just, he's in a good position, right? He doesn't have to attack. He doesn't really have to do much. He just has to keep Innovation at home. And because Innovation doesn't have the SCV count, he really cannot, he can't make any units. He can make SCVs, that's about it. He's more than likely going to try to get an expansion up, but with ZEST continuing this pressure, I just do not see that happening. Now, a lot of these units here for ZEST are getting very low, but the micro from ZEST is actually really good. Will be forced back once again, but every unit is so crucial right now here for innovation. And behind this, he's just building up more units at home. Like, this is just a small force of ZEST. He's already got that in natural up. He could possibly go into a third base behind this as well. He's going to expand around, just try to make sure that there is no like hidden bases. There's no hidden tech somewhere. So we'll see. Okay. Is looking to get some medevacs. I think that's going to be the most important thing for him besides SCVs. If innovation can somehow manage to come back from this. But he can't even leave his base at the moment. And at this point, it's kind of like if ZEST just attacks, he's going to be more than fine. But he doesn't want to just lose a winning game. Third base is going to be coming down for him once again, as he's just continuing to build this lead. And innovation tries he might. He's only up to 16 SCVs. He's just now making his single medevac. He just does not have the income. Finally getting a second gas once again. And with the Colossus tech coming in from the Protoss, and man, this Warp Prism just continuing the harassment with these, the Stalkers. And again, he can come in, he can deal a little bit of damage. Maybe he loses the Stalkers. But by this point, I mean, he's done the damage. He's kind of delayed innovation so much. And again, I feel like he could just kind of move in with the units that he has, but he's going to play this very patiently. And, man. So the council is going to be coming down once again, and we will see finally +1 being researched. Extended Thermal Lance is almost done. It's about halfway. And both players just continuing to try to drone, or just kind of build their worker count. But already ZEST is at 50 workers. And I mean, he's really in a fine position. Even killing off a couple of workers of innovations, it's just so much nicer. I think with the Colossus, though, he can just go across and attack. Because this is a very heavy Marine army. There is a tank and a few medevacs, so it does give him a little bit of a chance. But ZEST is able to, I mean, just warp in as much as he needs to. And still having the Warp Prism alive. Yeah. Extended Thermal Light's going to come down. GG. And ZEST takes game number 1 here in this best of 5 series. Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. It's going to be on Jagannatha. And, you know, Innovation had some really good stuff, but was not able to really capitalize it. And because of that base trade, just he lost too much and wasn't able to recover. But let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. Let's see if he can tie things up. Right here in the top right hand corner of the map, playing as the blue Terran pieces. Give it up, it is Innovation. And in the bottom left, in the red, it's the Protoss. It is ZEST. Alrighty, so game number 2, Innovation had an interesting build startup, right? He went for this 3 racks start. Had the potential to do a lot of damage, but with the blink play coming out from ZEST, denied the factory from finishing up. He couldn't get medevacs, and it really just hurt him. It delayed so much from him, and even though he was able to get stim done pretty quickly, he was able to eventually get like combat shields. Not having medevacs, not having any kind of factory support makes it very tough, especially when you're playing against a player like ZEST. Now ZEST is going to come in with the probe. wants to get some scouting off to see kind of is there anything too crazy and potentially disrupt some of the mining here from Innovation. But with the SCV hot on its trails, he's just going to be taken out instantly and just has to evacuate. Now, there's going to be Cybernetics Core, Gateway, and a Nexus coming out from ZEST, and doing a good job once again of trying to delay the CC. Now, this time CC comes down basically on time. I think maybe just a split late, but nothing that's, oh my goodness, he loses here, right? Alright, it's going to be an adept opening from ZEST. We'll allow him to put on some pressure across the map, potentially get into the main if he can shade in. And there is the factory, so not a 3 racks this game from Inno. And I like this. I like going into the factory. I like going into what he is doing here. Now the question does become, while we see... Okay, I thought the SCV was going to go across and maybe proxy. Reaper does have to back up, and behind this there is going to be that Cybernight or the Twilight Council. But does he go into Hellions? Does he want to go into maybe a mine drop? We'll have to see how he wants to play that out. It doesn't look like it's going to be the Hellions. I think it's going to be more mines, but oh no. He is going to open up into a Hellion. Behind it, Starport will be coming down, and for the most part, Inno is going to be safe against this shaded adept. And yeah, Zest's not really pursuing it at the moment. He's going to throw down the robotics facility, the gateway, and a dark shrine. Oh. Very nice. Will Inno be able to kind of handle this? He's going into a tech lab onto the factory after the Hellion. So potentially could go into maybe Banshees or maybe even throw down like a blind Raven. That would be sick. But he really can't even do anything with the Hellion and the Reaper. Like, he can poke in maybe, but even these adepts will just be able to kind of crush this, right? Behind it, Zest's going to take a third base. Yeah, Reaper really low. He might try to suicide it up here, but he's not even going to be able to get in. Yeah, loses the... Oh no, the Reaper's still alive. Oh, he does see the War Prism, though. But he doesn't know. He hasn't been able to get into Scout. He has no idea what's going on in the main base. He does not know of the Twilight Council. Does not know of the Dark Shrine that is finishing up here in just a split second as Zest is coming up. Now, he does have Marines here, though. And a Raven. I think he's stream cheating. He's hacking. Oh, but the DT's just going to go straight to the main. There is energy for a scan, and he also has the Ravens. Oh no, can he get the tank? Oh, that could be a huge pick off. Here comes the War Prism trying to help deal with this. Microing those DTs as best as possible, getting on top of the SCVs. Actually is able to kill off 4 SCVs. Almost gets the tank. That would have been a huge pick off for Zest. But he's going to smartly go ahead and back up. The Raven will actually follow this. He's the Archon morphing. I think that's a smart play. Seeing that it's going to be Raven. Those Archon's going to do a lot of damage against these Marines. There are tanks, so that does kind of suck, but Archons are very tanky in general. With their shields, anyways. So, I don't see him having too much issues with that. Blink is going to be the follow-up for Zest. He really likes that Blink play. And he's very good with it for a reason. Alright. Innovation. Gonna get a couple of good pot shots off. And, yeah. Almost gets the Viking. That would have been crucial. But still has that map presence. Still has kind of some air domination for the most part. So it looks pretty good. Gonna have Immortals on the way. We also have Sentries and those Adepts still out. And Zest just going heavy into this probe count. He's already at 57. Still getting damage done. He's going to be able to pick off a couple of more SCVs. Gets out basically unscathed. Now, the Archons and all Protoss units do have this shield, which regenerates after, you know, a short time. It slowly kind of starts building up. As you can see, that blue line up at the top for this unit. Once those shields do go down, you see it kind of building up slowly. Once the shields do go down, then they start losing health. So ZEST doing a really good job of actually picking these up before they take any actual damage. You can see the Archons are almost done. Their shields are just insane. 350 shields is immense, to say the least. Stalkers are going to be coming out as a blink is finished up. Going to be charge on the way as well, so going to be going into like a blink charge. Very kind of standard Protoss army. He's got Immortals on the way. It's going to be +1 finishing up for Innovation. He's got combat shields as well, and already had a pretty decent tank count. But the big problem right now is this is a very heavy Marine army. He does, yes, have the Raven to shut down the Immortals, to shut down the Warp Prism, but against the army of ZEST, will it contend? He has 72 army supply to 60, but with the Immortals, the Archons, and the Guardian Shield ability of ZEST with those sentries, I don't know. Alright, ZEST just trying to delay as much as possible. Charge will finish up, and he is going to rejoin his army down here at the bottom. Oh, the Zealot's going to be coming in from behind. Now, Innovation pulling a bunch of his SCVs to deal with this and to kind of keep everything healed up and potentially use those as a meat shield. We'll be able to clear up a lot of the opening into this base of the natural. More Warpins are coming in as the Zealots come in from behind, going to surround this army of Innovation, taking out all of the tanks. All of the SCVs are going to go down, and there's still a lot of Protoss left. Tanks are going to fall once again. GG! And ZEST takes game number 2 in spectacular fashion. Wow. What a series indeed. Now there's still at least one more game if ZEST can 3-0 Innovation, which ZEST just looks so dominant right now. Innovation could potentially kind of make a comeback. We'll see. Next map is going to be on Oxide, so I mean the potential is there for Innovation, but it just seems like ZEST is kind of outplaying him at the moment. Innovation is doing some weird builds as well, so we'll see though. Let's go ahead and jump into the next game, and let's see, can Innovation somehow make a comeback here? In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, currently up 2-0. Give it up for the Protoss player. It is ZEST. And up in the top right, he has been kind of struggling this whole map, this whole series, and can he somehow kind of pull it together? Give it up. It is Innovation. Alrighty, so game at number 3. Innovation gonna be going again for that barracks, and you know, we've seen these different, like, I don't know, these different builds coming out from him. He's trying to be aggressive, but he keeps going for these very heavy Marine pushes, and it's just like ZEST is just kind of overcoming it, unfortunately. So we'll see what ends up happening as ZEST continues to just really play dominant. Now, he's going to open up once again into the gateway. He hasn't expanded yet. He's going to go across with the probe, trying to delay the bunker as much as, or the barracks as much as possible. And there we go. Finally going to be going for the expansion. Want to get the Cybernetics core up and early. Stalker's going to be a good play for him here. Reaper on the way for the Terran, and I don't know. I mean, Innovation's been trying to, I don't know, he's been trying to do these weird aggression plays. It just does not seem like it's working out that well. Now, CC is going to be coming down for Innovation. Really delayed there as the probe is able to just kind of keep it blocked off and being annoying in that way. Follow up with a Marine. Should be seeing a factory here very soon. from here. Where does Innovation want to go with this? Does he want to go into a mine drop? Maybe try to follow up with some kind of tank pressure with some Marines, Marauders, Stim, with a couple of Ravens, or at least a Raven. This is a good map for Blink. See, a lot of Protosses like to Blink, kind of up into the main in this area. And with ZEST being a very Blink-heavy player, could see that. But as I say that, we look at the map, and look, there's a Stargate. So once again, ZEST going to be going into a Stargate play. And there we go. Now, every game so far, he has opened up into basically into Twilight Council. Yep. Sees the time and everything. Not going to be pushing it too much or keeping it too defensive. It is going to be an Oracle opening. So, does ZEST go into maybe like a 3 Oracle play? Or do we see him go maybe into something else? It is going to be a factory with a tech lab. Going to have the starport as well. And behind this, ZEST just playing it very calm. I mean, he's up 2-0. He doesn't have to worry too much or stress about too much at the moment. There we go. Oh my goodness, he's going into Banshees? Oh no, he's getting a Raven. Okay, that's a good play. Especially, oh no, he cancels it. He cannot decide what he wants to do here. Oh my goodness. It's going to go into a Cyclone, seeing that it is going to be Oracles. Following up with a Viking. Loses the barrack, or at least the SCV building the barracks. And really good stuff for that Oracle. Getting 4 kills and still getting out. Basically, barely alive. We'll be able to use that later. And even the Reaper will be returning back home. Now, he does have a Cyclone that will be able to kind of push back, or at least finish killing off the Oracle, if he does choose to go ahead and continue on with that. Phoenix follow-up, though. Very nice. So we'll see. Third base coming down for ZEST behind all of this. And Innovation getting Stim finally. 4.5 minutes. After really kind of indecisive, I say indecisive, but I think it was just kind of a reaction to seeing the Oracle. But yeah, gets a nice Revelate off and able to at least keep tabs on this army. Now, what Innovation has is alright against what ZEST has, but if ZEST is able to kind of pick up the Cyclone, it might have a little bit more tough time. Right now, Innovation is kind of at his weakest because he is trying to add on all these different tech buildings. He's trying to continue into, like, just getting things set up while ZEST is just massing up into Phoenix. Oh, yeah, he's got 5 Phoenix, guys. I know. But, do we see him continue into that? He is going to throw down a lot, and I mean a lot of gateways. I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes for charge lot, like Phoenix, essentially. Which looks like that could be the possibility. +1 and charge are on the way. It's quite Marine heavy, and he is going to see that there is the factory play. Who even gets the Revelate off, sees the mines coming out, so going to be more than okay. Alright, Innovation again has to play defensive, and we've seen that all series long. Of not being able to really go out on the map and do anything. He's had to kind of sit back and just continue to defend. ZEST has been in his face all series long. Even gets 3 more kills. His micro is just insane right now. Even with the Phoenix, with the Oracle. Not losing a single one to any of these units. This has been so good. Combat Shields finishes up for Innovation. ZEST does have this hidden pylon and could potentially warp in a bunch of Zealots. Looks like he's going to go into Archon, so picking off a couple of units here and there. Marine's going to stem forward, gets another Revelate off on this entire army. And, yeah, it's so good. Zest just literally like picking apart Innovation's army at this moment. Scan does come down, sees that it's going to be heavy zealots as he looks to push across the map. And yeah, I mean, this army is going to be really good against what Innovation has as long as he is able to kind of defend against the Widow Mines. The Widow Mines could be the deciding factor if Zest survives here. But Innovation going to start pushing towards this third base. Cyclone trying to pick off one of the Zealots, but with the shield battery in place, doesn't look like he's going to have enough here. And looks like Innovation ready to push. Single Viking trying to get the damage done, but even with the mines coming in here, it should be more than okay. Revelate still is available, does use it, so we will be able to see at least a couple of these mines. And here it comes, the Zealots going to start getting on top of everything. A couple of good Widow Mine shots will get on top of the Phoenix, but there's just so many Zealots, the Marines, trying to stem back as more and more mines are being laid down, and these Zealots are very crucial, but GG. And we see Zest taking the series 3-0 against Innovation. Wow.